I think you had a whole lot of information, dosage given to you of all that is happening across the world, thanks to Dr. Balyan and our friend from Nuclear Power Corporation. But I guess I have very little to talk about, but I have so much of concern. And I'm talking of Kerala Gale Gas Limited. It's a small company that we set up recently between Gale and KSIDC. And our objective is very simple, to bring and you make use of gas for Kerala. So it's a dream that we've set up for ourselves, and we are still far away from it. And let me give you just a quick rundown. As Gale Gas, we have many places taken on activities: Kerala, Karnataka, Andhra Pradesh, West Bengal, all at various stages of development. But the Kerala JV was the first one to come up. All others have followed up later, because there also the state governments recognize the enormous potential of making gas available for development within the state, and therefore giving the due priority that each government ascribes to it. This is our overall plan, and we have completed the phase 1, which means downstream of the LNG terminal coming up at Kochi, a network of around 40 plus kilometers is already on for taking gas to the consumers within the city, within the domain of Kochi. Our pipeline is expected to be around 500 kilometers from Kochi all the way to Mangalore. This is when we had our joint venture set up. So our objective is to supply and transmit, distribute natural gas to the end users in the state of Kerala. So we have a whole lot of tasks virtually available for us. We need to create the demand for gas, which means we need to attune you to the higher price, which is innate when you use gas. We need to set up the infrastructure required to carry gas to you. And we also need to develop the necessary skills in the region for people, the human resources, to be able to handle what is required to be done on the gas front. So these are our strengths. It will not take much time. This is a company. Now, this is broadly what we can do with gas. Gas is majorly made up of methane. As Dr. Balyan was mentioning, what you import is pure. There's nothing else into it, because you've liquefied it to minus 163 degrees centigrade, put it in a ship, bring it over, set up a storage facility here, regasify the gas, and push it into a pipeline which can take it to your home, or it can take it to the industry. The usages are, you could use it as a feedstock for your fertilizers, or for generating power, or in the refineries, or as a fuel for the transport sector. You could, the higher hydrocarbons, as we call them, glasses. The LPG which you use currently is actually a 50-50 combination of propane and butane. You know, in nature, what is more costly? Gold is costly because it is less abundant in nature as a precious metal. Similarly, LPG is less abundant in nature compared to natural gas. So the LPG prices will always be higher at any point of time. Today you're getting it subsidized at your homes, courtesy the subsidy that upstream ONGC, GAIL, and everybody, we are bearing. But it will not be so forever. Natural gas, therefore, being the more predominant in the nature, it is going to be cheaper than other hydrocarbons. You could use, gas is the source of energy. You could use it for many purposes. In fact, when you're talking about energy security, you don't have to look at power only as the source of generating energy. Gas can do much more than that. It can be a source of heating. It can be a source of cooling itself. The air conditioner could work on gas itself. You don't need power for that. You could use it for transportation. You could use it for power generation. In Europe, there are many CHPs, what they call. C for cooling, H for heating, P for power. This size of this podium, which has a mini generator, the extra heat generated runs a small fridge there, and the gas is also available in an oven. So in a place which is isolated, you could simply have a gas-based unit which will generate power, which will do everything, like you have those diesel gensets at home. Gas could actually run a genset at your home too, if you are connected. Okay, let's look at some of these examples. Heating for food grain storage, for bakeries, for dairies, for cooking applications, for manufacturing. This is an example of Parle. This is the world's largest selling biscuit, if you've heard about it. And they are based on natural gas. In fact, they were a little brought. And today they have the largest bakery in Asia. Because the importance of using gas is that you can use it much more efficiently. Mr. Puri was mentioning about Kerala's per capita consumption of energy being how much? 520 units. 3 years ago, and Dr. Balyan was mentioning that we are 1/3 of the global average. The Indian average, for example, in state like Gujarat, it is 820. 3 years ago, Punjab was 860. Compared to that development, you see what is required is energy for development. In the old times, it was along the rivers that you had civilizations that were developed, because that was the source of energy for farming, for everything. Now you need that source of energy like a gas pipeline. It's a river of energy. So when we set out from Kochi to Mangalore, it's virtual river of energy that will flow. And you need it for development. You need it for all these purposes. Amul, another example, the milk. It's all gas-based. Why doesn't Milma need it? It needs it too. Cashew nut drying, and you name it, anywhere, the tea leaves drying, you could use it. The glass industry, the only industry of this kind, ethnic industry, bangles, is running on gas alone, courtesy of Supreme Court order. Foundries, wherever you need as energy has a, for food grain storage in an environment which is highly humidified in a coastal area like Kerala, you do need humidifiers which can keep your grains. This is the kind of pictures that, this is not in India, sorry, it is not in India. Cooling and refrigeration. 40% of our fruits and vegetables perish before they reach the customer. And the net loss is who's? The fellow who's producing it or transporting it, or a country. We don't have cold storages of the kind which do exist elsewhere. For your fisheries across the coastal areas, every 50 kilometers, along with Mr. Tom Joes, we imagine we could have a refrigeration or a cold freeze unit where you could have all this available for, whether it is for the fish or for any other product. Globally, fish comes here to India, but Indian fish is never exported, or Indian flowers. They have a very short, shelf life. This is what CHP applications I was talking about. This small ships, all the ships that you have running in your backwaters could be running on CNG. Actually, yes. Conceptually, technically feasible. Except we need that something to happen. Something to happen. But what is happening is, at the moment, our pipeline is not gone beyond Kochi. Because the people, the land whose land is going to be taken, he's not willing to allow you that access to cross through. Buses you see in the city of Delhi, it made a world of difference. We have a world's largest transport fleet running on CNG in Delhi. It became a global example of how we can do what we can do with gas for the environment. And if environment is our concern, then somebody was telling me fuel oil is what is used here in Kochi, Trivandrum, elsewhere for industries, because that's cheaper than the gas which will come from PLL Kochi. In a city like Bombay, that region using furnace oil or fuel oil is prohibited for environmental reasons. It's maybe time for us to do something of that kind. For gas, for the whole business to have, it doesn't take two to tango, it takes three. You need the gas, the supply. You need the network, and you need the market to be able to sustain that. Or you need the customer. Without them, it just would not happen. Our dream of bringing gas, making it available across Kerala will never materialize if all the three things are not there. Now, we do know that the imported gas is going to be at $16 per MMBTU. That's what he's mentioned. What can we do to make this gas more accessible or reachable? Use indigenous gas. Bio-waste, somebody talked of options. Let's do it on a proper systematic scale. I'll give you examples. This is Germany. You see those green markers? These are the places where local bio-waste is turned into biomethane and put into the gas grid, injected into the gas grid. They have 7,000 such plants. And this is a country smaller than one state of yours. And a place as green as Kerala, you don't have even one. Imagine having all that green waste which we have, turning it into biomethane so that it'll be cheaper than the imported LNG, mix it up with that LNG, make it more affordable. And that's the dream, I said, in Kerala, Gale Gas, we're planning to have it. So we had a discussion with the Kochi Municipal Corporation. Let's begin with that. Your municipal waste, there are problems, and I'm sure we will find solutions. But then the idea of showing you this is that this is an option which must be worked at. As it is, we have a problem of our waste disposal. Let's dispose it such that it adds value to us. 7,000 plants, and in fact, Germany has legislated that by 2015, 10% of the gas in their grid must be indigenous biomethane. Dr. Balyan was telling you about the Indian pipeline network. I wish I had the time to show you what is our pipeline network. It's only 12,000 kilometers now. It'll become 15,000 by the next year. Let's say 2015. The Chinese network was 30,000 kilometers when we were at 8,000. They will become 1 lakh kilometers by 2015. A country like Germany has 1 lakh kilometers of pipeline network. We'll have to brace up. The fact of the matter is that yes, power will be costly. Yes, something made on gas will need to be costly. But then if you want to pay the price, if you want to have the environment clean, then you've got to pay the price for it. Otherwise, sit out without power. In the city of Calcutta, just giving an illustration because this is what we discussed with the Chief Minister there. You have a coal-based power plant which is 40 years old. You need to revamp it. It's in the heart of the city. You need to revamp it in any case. So demolish it and don't make a coal-based one, make a gas-based one. The city of Delhi does not have a coal-based power plant anymore. All have been converted. That's what has helped the pollution point of view. The prices, I think Dr. Balyan has talked about it, so I wouldn't take time. Gas can be used in many ways. You can build up a 1,000 megawatt power plant, or you can give it at 100 places and make 10 megawatts. That's up to us. The important thing is that the emissions are much lower. What what you were talking about, nuclear power, let's make a comparison with gas. It takes you 8 to 10 years to set up a nuclear power plant. It'll take 2 years to set up a gas-based power plant. It takes you talked of that availability, what was that? Capacity factor, 20%. A gas-based plant can run 100%. Right? You talked of land requirement. I'm sure we will do it shorter than yours. Right, compared to coal. You talked of capital cost. It is 8 crores per unit. This will be done at 4 and around lesser if you're a smaller denomination. Right? And the danger, what happened in Fukushima, what about the cost of that? Yes, look at the carbon credits. Fukushima, when that incident happened, what happened, you know? They shut down all their nuclear plants because they're so scared. So did the French. The prices of LNG went up because they used, converted, the LNG-based, gas-based power stations for that. The 10% escalation in the LNG consumption in Japan was equivalent to our 100% consumption in India. So nuclear solutions, it is far away from Kerala, as I see it, 10 years away if you start now, so it's far away. Or you'll have to anyway do it somewhere else because we don't have place here to do it. A green place like Kerala must be made greener. All that garbage, what do you call that, African weed, which is growing in your backwaters, should be the one converted into biomethane. Yes, why not? All that can be done, given the urge to do. So, okay, I'm delaying you from your lunch and I feel guilty of that. This, we could talk a whole lot about what is possible in India. This is our pipeline that we've structured. We need every one of you to support it, to work at it, because we owe it to our next generations, that the environment here must be sustained, must remain greener than what they are today. Our pipeline will go all the way to Mangalore. Imagine the kind of possibilities we have. We have from Kochi to Mangalore a whole CNG corridor. Every bus could run on CNG from Kochi to Mangalore. Because every 100 kilometers we could set up a depot where they could be fueled. Same thing applies to Kochi to Bangalore, virtually. In Europe, we got heavy-duty CNG trucks running. We don't have one produced in India. There's a whole market for anyone wanting to invest in India. Imagine a corridor from Kochi to Mangalore, or from Bangalore to Bombay, or from Delhi to Bombay. So what do we need to do? We need to work at all of this. We need to work at all of this, right? And we need the support of everyone, whether you're an academician, whether you're a politician, whether you're an industrialist, or whoever. Yes, okay, we'll stop at this.